Good evening, and welcome to Geek Meets Eats 2.0. As per my announcement last week, and what I should have done 2 years ago when I first met Mary and the guys from Handmade by Robots, I was very much a Handmade by Robots person, and I understand at the time that there were some feelings that I was overdoing it. And I understand at the time that there were some feelings that I was overdoing it. And okay. And what happened with that is that I backed way off and went back to doing what everybody else is doing. But since I first started collecting Handmade by Robots, and since I met Mary and Mike Cap, and I've known Allie since way before I started doing this show, and before Handmade by Robots. I knew Allie, but way before Handmade by Robots. Is that I should have stuck to my guns and what I love, and what really has taken over my collecting focus is Handmade by Robots. And I didn't have time to go back and pull the video clip from, I think, the very first meeting with Mary when they were first on, but she was asking the chat and me and my guests, what we wanted to see. And I'm almost dead positive that very first time is when I told her my dream line would be Back to the Future. So my guest tonight is Dale. You know him as Kentucky Collections on Instagram. Right below there is his Instagram account. So if you want to give him a follow, that would be great. So Dale, I know I'm crazy about Handmade by Robots, but you, sir, have taken it to a whole different level. And with your permission, I'd like to show everybody what I'm talking about, and you can tell me how this all came about. Oh, sure. I'm on a different one. Hang on one second. Let me go to your... I had totally forgotten. I was stalking your page and looking back through all the stuff that you collected, and I had totally forgotten that the glow-in-the-dark creeper had numbers on the bottom. So Dale actually has the robot tattooed on him. So explain to me how, hey Frog Pop, how are you? How that all came about, that you fell in love with this so much that you ended up getting it tattooed.
That's kind of a good question. It's been 20 years since my first and only other tattoo, and sometimes you just get a wild hair, and you get something. To me, a tattoo is something that you don't just get. It has to have some sort of meaning behind it. Mm-hmm. And with the lead robot there, and drinking coffee, two of my favorite things. So I just figured we'll put them on the left arm and go from there. My other tattoo is Jimmy Buffett's Caribbean Soul Lizard. So they're both kind of, not real items, I suppose you'd say, but.
Well, but that's an amazing thing. And I know there's a lot of people that have, different parts of their life that are tattooed on them. So I have 3, 4, 5. I have 6. I have a volleyball on my right leg, on my thigh, that has my number from high school and college in it, and from playing. And then I have a red sparrow, which is the exact same sparrow that Johnny Depp has on his arm, but I did the red for the black pearl, the bird that's on the black pearl, and that was for my mom loving Pirates of the Caribbean. My nephew was born on Talk Like a Pirate Day. And then we also lost a dog that was named Jack Sparrow. So I got that one for them. And then on my back, or above my waist, which everybody, hi Clarissa, how are you? Everybody could say our tramp stamps are 3 different suns. One is Bell's Oberon, which is a brewery here in Michigan. That kind of represents college. Hey Pop Fox, how are you? Then I have a sun in the middle that has sunglasses on that I got off a t-shirt in California that I kept drawing it. And then the last one of my very good friends drew me 13 different suns so that I wasn't uneven. And then my most recent one is on my rib cage, and it is outline of a sea turtle, and it says "no matter what." And my best friend and I have the same tattoo in the same spot, and we've been friends for over 20 years. So I agree with you that they must mean something. And so, when did you start collecting Handmade by Robots?
Well, God, when was it? Over 2 years ago. It was actually due to Funko Pops. The funny story is because I was getting tired of Funko Pops, and I was getting tired. When I got into Funko Pops, I pretty much jumped in the deep end and just went overboard. And I'm like, okay, well, I've got a lot of rock pops, but they're not making rock pops. They're making Star Wars, and they're making Marvel, and they're making Star Wars, and they're making Marvel. And I was just getting tired of watching the same things come up every single time. You get 5 Spider-Man within 6 weeks, and 4 of the 6 Spider-Men are all the same mold with just a different color.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I had like 2,000 points or something like that, or 4,000 points from $7 a pop. So I wanted to see what I could get there that wasn't pops. And I said, hey, look at that. There is a Captain Kirk and a Spock handmade by robots for, I think they were 1,000 points a piece or something. So I got those, and got those in the mail and looked at them and said, hey, these are kind of cool. So I looked up the website and ordered a couple more and found more places. At the time I was in Kentucky, went to one of the local comic shops there, had probably 10 or 12 different robots, handmade by robots on the shelves there. And so it just kind of started slow and easy. And then, I don't know, started talking to Mary because the Cincinnati Comic Con was coming up, and they were just, getting the ball rolling a little bit faster and wanted to do some of these cons. So I kind of talked to her and see if they wanted to go to Cincinnati, and they eventually did, with a couple sisters that live out in Ohio. And I went there and met them and kind of stood around the booth and ended up buying probably dozen and a half figurines from them at the show. And good thing is I could take 6 home and then come back the next day and buy 6 more. And so yeah, and that just the show just kind of got it going. And now it's like, well, I can't not have this one, and I cannot not have this one. So now they're getting, some of them are a little harder. There's the Back to the Future ones. Some of the Chomp ones are a little harder to find. So it's I got to spend a little bit more money on that. But backtracking a little bit, when I met Mary, and what makes me love the Handmade by Robots line even more is the company itself, the personality of Mary and Alice and the rest of the company. They'll sit there and talk to you. They're congenial. They're nice to you. You don't get that from other major companies.
And I think that was my big turning point too. Is when I reached out to them, I think they only had probably maybe 1,500 followers on Instagram at the time or something like that. But they were still a company that I knew had been in Walmart. They had, at least a dozen, 20 some figures out at the time. And so when I reached out and asked, hey, would you be willing to come on my little tiny show and go live? And when she said yes, I was blown away. And then, I getting to know her over the 2 years, there's a lot of times where I've talked to her and we'll talk football, or we'll, talk snow, or we'll talk cooking, or, Shar had an injury. And so I talked to Shar, her best friend, and said, you should try this certain type of honey. It's supposed to help draw out, some of the infection and all this other stuff. And like I said, I've known Allie since way before Allie was Handmade by Robots, when she was in California. And Allie and her husband at the time, hey Payne, how are you? Kind of jumped in at the same time that I did. Now the first one I got was Ralphie, and that's because Christmas Story is like my favorite Christmas movie of all time. I had not realized that another person in the community, Eric, whose Two Boys and Their Pops, had shown one off. I think it was a ghost face. Prior to that, I'd been on the show with him that night, and I didn't even notice it because I'm not a horror person. Now I'm a horror person because I have pretty much every single horror one they've put out.
You're just a Handmade by Robot person. It doesn't mean you're a horror person.
Well, true. I have not pulled the trigger on the Tarman yet because he grosses me out. But the one that really freaked me out was Annabelle. I almost didn't get Annabelle because I was like, I don't want that bad mojo in my house. But, like when I first met Mary when they were still small, then she sent me the, right here above where my finger is the astronaut and the space chimp. So I had found those and asked her about them. And she sent me those as a gift. And they're 3D printed. Those are not the vinyl prototypes. I know you have two, right? You have Velma and you have Krampus.
I've got a couple right up there. Yep.
Yeah, don't try to move. So in case you guys don't know, Dale actually had a major surgery recently, and we've been trying to make this show happen for a while, but then he got knocked down, and he any of you ladies out there, if you want him to take his shirt off, he's willing to do that to show you his 7-inch scar. But
7 inches long. If size matters, it's 7 inches long.
But I have to say that was probably life altering as well. It makes you kind of slow down and think about what's important in life. So I know you're in a good place now. You're recovering, yes?
Yeah, basically all I do is watch TV, watch YouTube, and sleep, and go to cardio rehab 3 times a week now. Just started this week. I quit smoking a month ago, so
congratulations.
That's a positive.
Very hard to do.
Love to have one now and then, but I ain't going through all this shit for one cigarette. So
exactly. Now, out of all I know there's several of us that have an extraordinarily large collection of Handmade by Robots. Of all the ones that you have, which one is your favorite?
Which one is my favorite? I actually really like my Teddy Roosevelt one.
The baseball one.
I like my Teddy Roosevelt one. He's the Washington Nationals. His mustache and he's so cool.
Great.
Plus, a lot of people don't have him. I like my Davy Jones. I like my Elvira's. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to pick just one or two, but those are probably, some of my 4 or 5 favorites. The Elvira's, because they're so different. And I've got all 3 of them, and I've got two of them came signed. You had to get lucky enough to get those signed, but I got the 2 that you could get signed. I do have signed. They're right here. Ouch.
Yeah, be careful. So I have the Davy. I have all the sports ones, including the Teddy, and then I what is his name, Screech or something from last year, and Slugger from this year. I have Mr. and Mrs. Met, and then I have the new one somewhere.
Did you get Slugger, the Kansas City Lion?
Yep, I have Slugger, and then they did the new Where are you? Oh, up. He's right up here. Right there is Bowie, which was another Kraken one. Have you seen him?
No. Yep, I got him. He's around here someplace.
But I do know that what I do is right before baseball season, I have a feeling there's going to be more baseball the ones this year, just because they've been so popular. And I do know that that's why Washington Nationals circled back around after doing the Eagle the first year, and then they did Teddy Roosevelt. And so I think I'm going to be checking to see, the giveaways for all the teams, because that's when you find them. The Kraken, I love, they've done one each season so far. BDA is the parent company of Handmade by Robots, and the gentleman who is the CEO of BDA, I believe, has ownership in the Kraken. So
yeah, something like that. He's got partial ownership for.
But I'd like to see some more sports, possibly getting into football. Like that's another one. I've even begged the Detroit Lions. I'm like, please do a Rory. Please do a Rory. I think that would be awesome.
Do a David Montgomery, do a
there you go.
Do their star running back from Iowa State.
Who did they just re-signed Jalen Reeves-Maybin, and the deal's almost done with Amon-Ra. So we're gonna keep both of them too.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool if they did actual sports figures, regardless of who it is, do like a Brock Purdy or, a Dak Prescott or, yeah. We don't want any Cowboys, but hey. Anyway.
Now, the releases have gone up since we both started collecting these. Do you think they're at a point where it's getting harder and harder to keep up with everything that's released, or do you think they're at a steady pace where it's not overwhelming like it was with Funko?
Well, it depends on, like from Thanksgiving to the first of this year when they came out with all the Chomps, and I love them. They're awesome. I love the Chomps. I love Chomps before they came to HMBR, but when you bring out 8 of them basically within 3 or 4 weeks, it is kind of hard to keep up with them. Especially there's I won't name the companies because that's not nice, but there's one out there that and they're not a retail per se shop, but they try to sell them and they don't do a good job, and then they blame the warehouse and they blame everybody but themselves. And I'm just having a hard time with them doing it. So,
well, and that's one of the conversations I wanted to get into about the Chomps, because I know Obama did a press release the other day on Instagram about their 6-year anniversary, and one of the things they said was they weren't doing a release this year, and which I found crazy, because I think there's more now. You've got the Handmade by Robots fans following them, and I have a few I have a few of them. I have the Bob Ross, I have the astronaut, and then up here on my Grail shelf is a regular Chomp that got painted like a character from Spawn that one of the artists that's local did for me. Well,
yeah,
he did
it. The one Chomp I want is the coffee Chomp.
The coffee Chomp, yeah. He's super cool.
I've seen him a couple times, and he's like $70. And as soon as I get another job and get some income coming in, I think he's going to be my next non-HMBR purchase.
So I'm putting up the graphic right now. I'm wondering, because they said they're not doing a release, but there's still there's how many are out now? 10, 9 of them. There's still 4 to go. Which is the emerald green one that's in the middle of that. I'm wondering if that's not coming out for Emerald City Comic Con because it's green, the green patina one,
or St. Patty's Day,
But I'm wondering if that's not going to be exclusive to Emerald City Comic Con. And then just to the right of that is a purple and yellow one, which I believe is going to be possibly another Plastic Empire one. Because of the coloration of it is very similar to their logo. I don't know if they were going to do 3 because they did the albino and they did what was the other one they did? They did the albino, and then they did, I don't know, maybe Pop Fox knows.
I know if it looks like I'm looking off screen, it's because I'm looking at my TV trying to see what's on there. So
yeah, I know they did the black light, the pink one. This one that's over to the left. They just had the albino. Okay,
yeah, and then you got the gold one way in the back, right?
The gold one, I honestly thought that was going to be an abominable release, and I was wondering if it wasn't going to be some sort of contest, like you had to win one. I feel like that gold one is going to be a super limited release. I think it's going to be less number than, or it's going to be a chase. And the other thing that I thought of is that could be a chase to the metallic white one, which is over all the way to the right hand side of that picture. That one hasn't come out yet. The gold one hasn't come out yet. The purple and yellow one hasn't come out yet. And then the green patina one hasn't come out yet.
I think Mary's just going to give you and I the gold one. Everybody else will have to.
There you go. I'm hoping it's not something like the contest. I'm hoping it's not limited to like 10, because if it's that kind of a contest, the chances of me getting one are slim to none, because people will enter the contest just to enter the contest.
And that's what I had an issue with when they did the miniature giveaway of 10. I'm like, well, now you go back there and you look at the 10 people that won. About half of them were actually HMBR collectors. Another ones had like 3 in their whole collection, and they just entered it to win something.
Right.
And that's what I don't like about contests like that. People just enter them because they want to win. They don't collect whatever's being given away.
Yeah, I've only seen 2 of those go up for sale. One was selling for upwards of $500, and the other one was more reasonable. I do know where that one went. That one was in the $250 range. And though I'm not into Handmade by Robots excuse my dog, for the money part of it, obviously anything that you collect is an investment. I mean, it's basically there if you ever need it. And yeah. I'm going to take that down. But at the same time, I collect Handmade by Robots because I like them. I like the diversity of the figures. I like that their molds and the way that they do the stitching looks like the figure. It's not the same head mold and same body mold. Are they all in a sitting position? Yes, but their feet are different. The bodies are different. Hey, Christina, how are you? The bodies are different, and the faces and heads are different, so that you can actually tell what they are. It's not the same tiny body, square head, cubic shaped head. I'm not knocking Funko. I'm not going to say I'm never going to buy Funko again. But there's a lot of.
I'm glad you can say that.
The figure that got announced today, that one that's going to be 750 pieces, the big boy, and with a $295 price tag.
The one that they had everybody standing in line since 1 o'clock in the morning out there, thinking they were going to get it, and all they got was a pin and a poster.
Yep.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah. And it's just another one of those things where I feel like the biggest difference between Handmade by Robots and Funko is Handmade by Robots has not lost touch with their core audience. They're still talking to us. They still ask our feedback.
Right. And they don't have to run silly promotions to get their crowd all hyped up and stuff like that. So.
No. And, I think this new hiring of Reese O'Brien is going to be a good thing. I feel he's very, very creative. If you have any Tiny Ghosts, if you've seen the Tiny Ghosts, he's very creative with what he can do. I think that was an awesome step for Handmade by Robots. I'm hoping, and I'm not putting it out there because I don't know anything about it. I haven't asked about it, and I never would, is that Justin is staying, because Justin is awesome. I do have one signed by Justin right there. And Justin's been the guy who has designed them so far. But I do think that they're at that point where the ceiling has broken now, and with the launching of the Universal line and everything else, that's been super important to bring on somebody like Reese that was in the Funko world. If you saw his drawings, if you go to his website, he's got a bunch of his original drawings for sale of concept art that he did for Funko. And I think he's going to do wonderful things. And I think that Mary in particular and the rest of the Handmade by Robots team are very aware about who they hire that is going to increase the value and benefit of all collectors of their product. And that's what I really like, about it.
Well, Mary's taken the right steps, in my opinion, on driving the company forward. She's not just staying there and saying, well, yeah, we lost this license, but you know what? Oh, well, she's like, she's been working on licenses for 2 and 3 years that are coming out now. So it's good. We're going to see a lot of improvement here and a lot more licenses and a lot more figures, I believe, coming up in, the next year and a half. So
I agree. And I'm just hoping it doesn't get to the point where I can't keep up. I'm not saying that I need to be a completionist. I have quite a few, more than a lot of people, it's because I love the product. I also want to support them and see them continue to grow. There's some like the Tarman. I don't know if I can put him in my house. He just creeps me out. And I wasn't picking up a lot of the Killer Clowns. I've almost got that set completed now. And
what did I do with Tarman? I had him.
He's creepy.
I got him around here someplace. He's cool.
And I didn't cancel my order for Bozo. I'm still on that. I don't care if it's now or 2 years from now that it comes out. I still want that figure because Bozo was important to me as a kid. I watched that show.
Yep. The grand prize game. I always sent letters in hoping to get invited to do it, but I never did. So.
Me too. My mom was like, well, we're not driving to Chicago. I think I lived in North Carolina at the time. She's like, yeah, we're not going to Chicago. So just get that out of your head. So I built my own. I went as an adult, and then I put it into a drinking Olympics. So you couldn't leave that. If you missed, you had to take a shot or a sip of your drink until you got a ball in all the buckets, and then you can move on to the next one.
I bet you there were some people that got pretty drunk.
So Christina's asking in the chat, how many Handmade by Robots do you have in all?
So how come there? How many Handmade by Robots do I have in all? Last time I counted, that included my miniatures and my eggs and all that stuff. Cat was chewing on the cord. Last time I counted it was like 164, but I've got probably 20 more in by now, 25. So I'm probably, without having counted here in the last 2 months since Christmas, I probably got right at 200 overall with the miniatures and the eggs and the figures, full figures, and the 2 big ones. And so,
yeah, so the 3-pack is up on top. You can't see it right now.
I have the lock, shock, and barrel up there. I've got all the original, the first 10 that came out in the bigger boxes, which is kind of cool. I understand, after talking to Mary, I understand why they shrank the packages and stuff like that. It shrank their costs considerably to go from the big boxes that they were originally in down to the ones they're in now. So
yeah, and whoever gets my swap box is going to be excited because there is an original one of these in there. I had a duplicate. I have all of those. That was like one of the first things that I did when I started collecting was to get all of the old coupe boxes. That was where Mary started with the line. And so I have all of them up here, which are the bigger ones. They're about 1/4 of an inch wider, but the depth I think was about the same than they are now. And then they obviously went with the show and tell boxes now that have the wraparound windows.
And I think those are pretty pretty cool too. I think that was a great idea on their part. So you don't have to take them out. Like I've got I guess I call him a friend on here, and he's a big Funko Pop collector, and he's been doing a series that surprises that Funko wouldn't tell you, and it's about things on the back of the pop or whatever. And, you don't need that type of thing with these show and tell boxes, because you can see the back of it. You can see the letter jacket. You can see their hair, the gun hanging on their back, things like that. And that's, to me, it's pretty awesome.
It is. Now, the reason, what struck me, and I told you kind of backstage, was one of the things that I found interesting and that I'd forgotten about was that the glow-in-the-dark creeper. So they've done different versions where they did the numbering on the tag, and I forgot that the creeper was numbered on the bottom. And if I did get him out. But one of the things that I do like that they're doing now is like the ones from Geek Fuel, that Blacklight Rudy that came out. There was a sticker on it that told you what number that you had out of the, 300?
Oh, they had a couple of those that were like that, yeah.
I like that one. The Gomez and Morticia, they put them on the tag. There's another one that's a printed tag. Mine of the Morticia and Gomez were the handwritten ones. But I had forgotten that this was on the bottom. And I didn't realize that I had number 22.
22 out of what, 400?
480.
That's good low number for you.
Yeah, that was cool. I was wondering, and I didn't check any of the Chomps, but I was wondering if they were going to do that on any of the Chomps, maybe the gold one, where it's... I
didn't open a lot of my Chomps just because I don't open a lot of my boxes. Sometimes I'll do it just for pictures, but I had to open the cotton candy one, and I about left that one out in my bathroom because it smells funny. I would have killed the smell of the cotton candy too quick, so I put it there.
Mine are in box, and I know that's a discussion that there's some of us that are in or were in the chat. I know that Marisol had to leave because she's got her awards show tonight.
Like Miss Marisol, she just destroys all her boxes and time. But I mean, I can live past that one flaw. Other than that, she's pretty nice. So.
I can't do it. I just the only ones that I don't have in box are the prototypes. They're in protectors though, so that hopefully nothing happens to them. They don't get dusty and all that. I'd never want to wipe them off and pull the paint off or anything because the astronaut and the monkey are hand painted. Let's talk about the Back to the Future. So this was a line, and I know Frog Pop had picked them up for Bay. And I did find, if you guys haven't seen this yet, I did find a different doc that is available. Now I found it on European sites. I didn't do a whole lot of digging, but this is the doc that is in the plutonium suit. So you can see him here. I'll put him up. And that is number 145 in the line. I had not seen him until today. And from what I can tell in the listing, I believe there are a total of about 13 of them coming out, maybe more. So I'm hoping to see some of these from each movie, that maybe they'll do some from part 3 where they're in the old Western gear. I'm not really sure. What I kind of wanted is I want to know, but I don't want to know because I kind of want to be surprised when they come out because this is my favorite movie franchise. So, and Frog Pop, maybe you can answer this. Were the black lights the VIP ones or the ones that were not blacklight the VIP?
What was the question? I didn't hear you.
If the blacklight ones, like this one, were the VIP that you could get at Fan Expo, or if it was the other one.
From what I was told,
the blacklight was okay.
No, this is the DeLorean right there.
Here, I'm going to put you up big screen so everybody can see that. I don't have that one yet.
I got that one off eBay, I believe. And I asked him about the sticker, and he said that was the VIP entrance. People only got the ones without the sticker.
Interesting.
Now, do I believe the guy? I don't know, but it's a DeLorean. It's a handmade by robots. I'm keeping it.
Exactly. So we'll start with this one. This is a blacklight one. I do know that there is a regular version of this one, which is more of the actual coloration of why am I opening it from the top? I'll open it from the bottom. Of the Marty McFly outfit from the movie. The blacklight is super cool. I'll try and post a picture of it in the blacklight on my Instagram, but I had not opened him yet, so we'll get him out. But I do believe now the coloration of the one that's non-blacklight, the skateboard is the color of the hoverboard. This one is a little more orangey, but I think they did an excellent job with his hair and making it look like Michael J. Fox. And then with the way that they designed the vest. Hey, Umpty, how are you? Frog Pop says, I got the sticker on my DeLorean, but everyone could buy it with the sticker at the con I was at. So I like him, but my favorite movie of the three is Back to the Future Part 2. Are there other Back to the Future characters you would like to see, Dale, that are in this line that we don't know about yet?
Sure. Put me on the spot here, would you? I don't. About the only other one that was a major character that nothing is Biff. He's about the only one that was a major enough character in the show, in the franchise, that I think would be okay. But when he's the king of the gamblers or whatever his, when he owns that gambling company, that would be one. And I suppose one where he's in, at the high school, but he never did much. Basically costume changes. He was always in, a t-shirt and jeans, and chasing Marty McFly. So
now I will say I thought they did an awesome job recreating the iridescent hat, and you can see that it's shiny. And then with the paint scheme that they did on this, it's too hard and too expensive to actually do an iridescent paint like that. But the way that they did the coloration on the paint itself, it makes it look like it is iridescent. The way that you turn it around and everything, you would think that you're getting the different color schemes on it. And the fact that part of it is shiny and the rest of him is matte.
That's just a regular McFly?
This is the Back to the Future 2. This is number 146.
But it's not the black light one. It's the other one, just the regular one.
No, it's not a black light. This is a regular one. And then I have the regular Doc so far. I've had birthdays and everything else come up so far, and so I kind of slowed my roll. I know they're going to be available. I also didn't want to be someone who's paying out the nose and then artificially inflating the value of these, or people are seeing that they can sell them for $200 or whatever. Well, I saw some of them at like $200. The DeLoreans have been going for around $50. I will get them.
Yeah, I'm not paying $100, $120, $140 for a black light anything. I paid $100 for my Velma
prototype.
Yes, thank you. But that was a prototype. That's a one-off. So, but if there's 150, 200, 400, 600, I ain't paying $100 or more for it. So,
No.
unless it's something that I absolutely positively have to have. I gave up. I was bidding on the dock, the one, and I bid up to $70 on eBay, and I'm like, okay, I was behind. I was in second with like 2 minutes left, and I bid up to 70 on to see if that would get it. It didn't, so I didn't bid anymore. I'm like, nah.
And you know what the crazy part is I paid less for the VIP Blacklight Marty than I did for the Back to the Future Part 2 Marty.
Yeah,
I don't think people understand what they have. It's just like all the Walking Dead ones that have come out. You're starting to see a couple of the chases trickle out. I only have the commons of those right now.
and it's funny. Some people think that they have more than what they actually have. It's like, oh, I want $200 for this. I'm like, well, you know what? You can go to such and such a site and get it for $50 or $45.
Or it's like the person that I saw on eBay, they had a regular Krampus, a common Krampus, that was a giveaway, and they got a little card that was signed by Allie and Ghoul, who used to work for HMBR, and they were trying to tell people it was a one of a kind. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not a one. You're false advertising. It's not.
I think I've seen that one.
It wasn't a one of a kind. It wasn't something they had it that they were the creators of it. I'm like, they're not even the creators. Allie, Allie does what she does. She's got jack of all trades, wears many hats, and then you've got Ghoul, who's their social media person. It's right. Christina knows. We had a whole conversation in our group chat about that whole situation, and they still have it up for the same price.
Yeah, I remember seeing that, and I think because those two autographs. That just shows you that they don't know, who's who, They don't know who Allie is. They just think it's somebody that probably played, the character or, did the voice or,
They thought that Ghoul and Allie were the artists who created the figure. And I'm like, no.
And they're both very talented people and very nice people, but yeah. Sorry, guys, your autograph's not worth that much yet.
And so then they tried to offer it to me. They were going to give it to me. I'm like, that's not what this is about. I already have the figure. And she's like, well, how do you have it? I'm like, it's not a one of a kind. It's a limited edition, but it's not a one of a kind.
Yep. And you said, if I really want autographs, I'll just pick up the phone and call the two of them and they'll send me an autograph.
Well, I have Christmas cards from Allie. I'm like, I that's why I made a joke to Allie, and I'm like, hey, I didn't realize your autograph was worth so much. She goes, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's, it just gets me though. Some people, it's like they're trying to. I seen one. Who was it? Ralphie was on eBay, and they wanted like $50 for Ralphie. I'm like, yeah, it's a cool character and it's a cool figure, but I'll just order it off the website for $15 or whatever it is.
But I think because of what we have, Dale, you and I think eventually, when they're in the thousands of figures out in a couple of years, I think the value that what we have, that to me, this is like probably what it was like when people got into the ground floor of Funko. Yeah. I have all of the original boxes that you can't get anymore. And those are going to be the ones that are worth a lot of money, and the limited edition ones like the Chomps and things like that, the Mortician Gomez. But I think we got in on the ground floor, and most of my friends at least have some of them. Christina has several that I think we're going to be shocked as to what the value of them is going to be someday.
Yeah, the ones that are going to be worth the money, I think, are the real common ones. The Disney ones, the Timba and the Winnie the Pooh and stuff, because she don't have that license now. They don't even sell them now. So whoever has them, and that's about it. So
and like the egg crates up here that they don't do anymore, the 4-packs, those are going to be worth money.
I didn't, I wasn't really excited about those, but then I figured, you know what, I've got everything else. I might as well buy those, and so.
Yeah, Frog Pop says he's got all the OGs and some stashed away. I had one duplicate, and it was one of the ones that was in the Loot Crate box, and I decided to share that with someone else because, you know, of this being my passion. And not every single week is going to be about Handmade by Robots. I do want to every week touch on something that's happened, announcements that they've made, and then I also want to keep doing interviews like with you, with other people who collect different things, be it Magic the Gathering cards or Legos or whatever it is. I love doing this interaction with people that, you know, you see them on Instagram and we talk back and forth in DMs and stuff, but actually being able to have a whole conversation is a completely different experience.
I wish I would have kept my Magic cards. I started playing Magic at the end of the first series, beginning of the second series. I had all the cards for second series. I mean, I played with them. They're, you know, right now they probably wouldn't be worth much because they're used and stuff. But I had every single card from the second series, and now they're up to what, 10, 12, 14, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, see, I don't understand it. My nephew's completely into Pokemon cards. I've seen the Magic cards all over the place. The doctor's slacking. Well, I hope you got good news from the doctor, but I'll look in the group chat after this and see what they said. But I'm hoping that you had some good news, Mama J. I mean, I have like Ninja Turtle cards. I have some that are signed. I don't know what I did with it. It's in a case. It's on my desk somewhere. I have this whole entire art set of the Ninja Turtle cards. Oh, lost him. Oh, he's back.
Oh, I want to step off and show you. That's probably my favorite. You can see him or not. But he's
what is that called?
Dunnies. That's a Dunny. It's like
Dunnies, yes.
5-inch Dunny. And he's made with
skulls.
All skulls. And he's a glow in the dark. And he's got the most wicked glow.
That's awesome. Bits, who is the artist that I got the here, I got one right here. This is an artist proof one that I have of his. So he does these little miniature figures. Oh, let me take you out of solo. He does these little miniature figures here, and I have the Ninja Turtles of those. And he also collects Dunnies.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of 3-inch dummies. I've got a couple more of the 2-inch, but this one is a 1 in 100 numbered Dunny, and I paid probably more than what I should have, but I still thought it was a good deal. I think I paid $175, but it came in a box, had the numbered card, all that stuff with it. So that was cool. That was a cool little shop. It was an independent toy shop right there in the town I lived in Kentucky, called Earth 2 Kentucky. And they had a whole shelf full of Dunnies, and independent artists would make, say, a Colonel Sanders doll, but make them with like a mohawk or something. And it was a cool place. That's where awesome. I got my, if you're into Scooby-Doo, I got Velma and the other chick. Who's the redhead?
Daphne.
Got 2 posters of one of each of them, and they all got tattoos and stuff. And I'll show you afterward, because some of the stuff that's tattooed on their arms probably isn't appropriate for live YouTube.
So. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you on that. So I know you didn't make your popcorn.
I did not. No.
One of the things that I did pick up today, and we're going to try this, is there is a new Gatorade mystery flavor. And the interesting thing is, my favorite flavor is this one, which is the Glacier Cherry, which is the same color. So I got that just so that I can taste test the difference, but we're going to try this tonight. This is the eats part of the program. This is a mystery flavor. I did buy popcorn, and we'll try that too, because it is a Michigan-based popcorn. But we're gonna taste test this, Dale, and see what we think.
Well, you go ahead with the Gatorade. It's got too much sugar in it for me, even though I'm drinking a Pepsi. But hey.
So this smells like cherry. This smells more like strawberry bubblegum. Like the strawberry bubblicious bubblegum is what it smells like.
Does it tell you after you?
No, I think you're supposed to guess. It's a limited edition mystery flavor. I'm wondering, Christine, if it's not strawberry lemonade.
Well, it's got to have it on there someplace, just on the label for.
No. Doesn't tell you what it is. Scan to guess the mystery flavor. It's a contest. There's a QR code.
Where's the label at though? It's got to tell you what ingredients and stuff in there and what the.
It just says natural. It says water, sugar, dextrose, citric acid, natural flavor. But there is a QR code if you want to scan that.
Oh, so it'll tell you what it.
You can guess it. They haven't announced it yet, but it's a little tart. I'm wondering if it smells like strawberry bubblicious bubblegum. And I think they didn't do a color because they didn't want to sway people to like think that it's a certain thing. But by smell, It smells like strawberry lemonade. Or a raspberry lemonade. One of the two.
And if you're wondering what I'm holding, these are my angels.
Yes, let's show them your angels. Let's talk about that. So you got that after your surgery, correct?
When I woke up from my surgery, this was laying on the bed beside me. Unsigned at the time, and the purpose is you hold it against your chest when you cough, sneeze, yawn, laugh, and it relieves all the pressure from your chest and doesn't break open the sternum and pull apart all the wire. I'm basically just wired at the sternum. Take a couple hard wires and do like you would a bread tie right up through me. They twist them, bend them closed, and go down the next one. Do it again.
Are those going to stay in you forever?
Yeah. Yep. And they'll the bone will go shut around them and grow around them. But
it's blackberry raspberry. Is that what they said, Mama J? And then do they have markers to do the signing, or was it something that you asked them to do?
What's that? Oh no, the marker comes with it. Over here, it's got a little marker that comes with it, and then you ask your nurses and your doctors and your techs and anybody who took care of you to sign it. Which brings me to a cool point. Another reason I like Handmade by Robots is I asked Mary, I said, hey, Mary, you got lots of stickers. I said, do you have any, the robots in gowns with, a mask or something? I said, if not, I'll pay to have some. And she said, no, they didn't. But she's sending me a surprise. She just said, how many do you need? And I said, about 20, 25. So she's sending me a surprise to give to all my angels. And what she has a big heart on it. So, has a heart on it.
Aww.
So it's kind of a cool, I'm kind of excited to see what she's going to send me. But I don't know if it's stickers or what, but that's all I asked to see if she had. And but all her robots have hearts on them. So hopefully she's going to send me some cool stickers or something that I can hand out to them and they can put it on their board or whatever.
Dale, have you ever seen what she made me? Hang on, let me get the thing off from around it. Let me put myself up.
I can't pick you up, but you can jump up here.
So she made me a little hamburger, and he's only about maybe an inch tall.
That's cool.
And so he sits on my mic stand up here, right above my mic so that I'll never lose him. I already told Mary. I said when push comes to shove and it's my time to go, I better be buried with my astronaut, my space chimp, and my little hamburger.
Yeah, I told Joy that if I pass away here in the next couple years, that I'm willing all my handmade by robots and all my collectible stuff to her, and then she can sell it to pay for my funeral. Joy was not very joyful about that.
I would guess not. No, I mean, no one wants to think about death. I have a lot of their stickers and stuff that, the different ones. I have my friends on my mic stand. I have the original Handmade by Robots. I have Godzilla up here, Pop-Tarts on here. I have a ton of them. I even have, I have some of Allie's. So I actually have one of Allie's stickers from before Handmade by Robots with Winnie on it.
Oh yeah, I did. Did you get the one of her the dog that she had that's
the Pop-Tart
been sent out right around Christmas time?
Yeah, Pop-Tart is on the back of my mic stand along with Eric from Two Boys. I have BK Phipps is on here, Roscoe Pops is on here, Dave's on here, Mama J's on here, Mo's on here, Caitlin's on here, Obi's on here. So my friends, like the people that I talk to more frequently, they made the mic stand, and then Christina was gracious enough to order me a sticker album. So now I have a sticker album that I've started that has all the different variations of the Handmade by Robot stickers that come out. Those are in there, and I have one of Christina's actually sitting right here. Christina is awesome for creating a ton of different stickers. So once you get used to one of her logos, then she changes it. And then I have Umpty Scratch too. This is one I got to put in my sticker album. Umpty Scratch. This is the Blues Brothers, but that's his little mascot, Chuck. And so he puts Chuck in all kinds of different poses. So I have a bunch of Umpty Scratch. And Mama J changes hers too. So this is a sparkly one of Mama J with Elvis.
I might have to look up the Blues Brothers now you mention that. I don't have anything else to do for like 6 weeks. So.
What were your ears ringing, Elam? I was just talking about you. You're on here too. Yeah, she makes way more stickers than you do. But so Dale, do you have your own stickers?
Do I? No, never did that. I've got some stuff. I've been trying. I started another Instagram channel for my puzzles. I'm trying to slowly start a puzzle business on Etsy, and I started back 1st of January, not knowing any of this was going to happen, and now I've got to kind of ramp that up because the surgery wasn't the worst part. I know that's hard to believe, but I hadn't been at my job long enough to have FMLA. So while I'm laying in the hospital, even before surgery, I was in the hospital 13 days. In that 13 days, I had lost my job.
And that's insane. Newell, you're on here too. I just can't see the other. This side over here. Newell's on this side.
Because 10 days was their time limit for medical leave without FMLA. And they didn't care if I'd stubbed my toe 10 times or if I was having open heart surgery. Yeah, they didn't care. So,
Elam, he's not in Kentucky anymore. But where were you in Kentucky when you lived in Kentucky?
I was in Covington, right about 3 miles south of Cincinnati is where my apartment was. When the Bengals had their flyovers before the game, they'd fly right over my house. They'd fly over the stadium and then over the house. I'd watch TV, and as soon as I see them approaching, I'd step outside and watch them go over, and they would shake the building. They were so low.
He said he used to live in Lexington. Do you know where? I don't know how far that is from Covington, Lexington.
Lexington's hour and a half south, 2 hours.
Oh.
Lexington's in the southern part of the state.
Yeah, I only ever drove through Kentucky. I never actually stopped. Unless we like, oh, we did stop once to go to the actual Kentucky Fried Chicken farm. Because they had when I was a kid for Colonel Sanders, they had done a farm down there in Kentucky, and we did stop there once because they used to have a restaurant there, and so it was kind of a fancier, upgraded version of KFC that you could get. It was which was interesting, and you could walk around and see like the house and stuff like that. So that there is one time I did stop in Kentucky, I will say. Fenway, go lay down. Well, I know that tonight is the night of the awards. I don't want to keep anybody. What is it, Funko Dads that's holding the awards show tonight? I don't know if it's on Instagram. It is set to start at 8 a.m.
The Pop Husbands, I think, is what it is.
Yeah, I think. What did you say? 2 Funko Dads? Is that what it is?
No, the Pop Husbands.
Pop Husbands. That's it. The Pop Husbands. They're having their awards show tonight. I know that there are several people that have been involved with Handmade by Robots that are up for awards tonight. I don't want to keep Dale too long either because I know that he's been recovering and going through all that. Dale, I want to thank you for coming out tonight. I hope to have you back again, soon, and we can discuss more about what's coming out.
I'm here for the next 6 weeks, so.
Well, I'll definitely try and get you back. Is there anything else that we didn't cover that you wanted to mention? Is there if there is HMBR you want that they haven't made yet?
Yeah, if there is, we can always cover that in another one. So I can't think of anything right now off the back of my hand, but.
Alrighty. Well,
let these people go see if they get win any awards or know people that win awards. I'm rooting for the Pop Box and Ravens. What's her name? Ravens and Raven something or other. She's down in Lexington or Louisville area. She's a big Harry Potter person. Joy, she's up for a couple. I hope she wins in her categories. So
very cool. Well, I wish everybody the best of luck. I'm not up for any words. That's okay. I didn't even apply. I will say thank you guys all for coming out for the launch of 2.0. Some things that I have coming up is we're going to be trying the icy cereal. It's supposed to make your mouth even colder. I have got a donut battle between 2 small donut shops in the area. Ma, Pa, and Nolan and I are going back to the French restaurant in Detroit. We're going to film that. So we're going to do that. That'll be our first actual restaurant review in restaurant. And a lot more Handmade by Robot content. If you guys collect anything or somebody who does collect things outside of Funko, I'd love to get those people on. Not that I'm against talking about Funko. They can be a Funko collector as well as something else, but I want to learn about other passions and other collections, be it the Magic cards, be it Pokemon, be it Legos, Dunnies like you had there. These are all things that interest me. And I want to get back to doing this format of having people on and not just me sitting here for an hour or two talking and it going nowhere. So I think Xander and I are going to hook back up, and we should have some other interesting guests coming back up. So it's going to be fun. There will be more than one video a week on the channel now, which is going to be a little bit harder for me. But at the same time, I've missed doing some of the things, and I want to get back to doing what makes me happy. So Dale, I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah,
and
not a problem.
Everybody in the chat, thank you guys so much. And we'll see you on the next live. Have a good night, guys.